What's going on, fellow humans and resellers? It is I, James, redoptionagency.com, 22 years selling full-time on eBay. It is Friday. And the scan form did not print again last night. Another eBay error. eBay was kind of messed up yesterday. One of the things was the numbers weren't reading properly on the graph of how much you've sold. Some of you have left comments over time, and I never noticed it before, so I never really seen it affect me, so I never really talked about it. So some of you have said it always seems like the first day of the month or whatever, right at the beginning of the month, you get one day of a huge spike and you attribute it to the eBay fees on the store. So it pays the store. Almost like eBay's planned it that way so everybody pays their store fees on time, if you will. Is that what happened to me on the 31st? I mean, how do you go from like 296, then jump up to 820, and then if this number is correct, 354? So boom, boom, boom. So just an anomaly out of the blue. And that was at half my store at 2%, half of it at 0%. And then boom, $800 right out of the gate, or right out of the blue. Now I understand why you guys say that, because I've experienced it now. So yesterday, the last experiment was, okay, if I turn off all my lows at 0, will I still get 200 promoted page views? At about 3 p.m. yesterday, I was only on track to do about 90 promoted page views with those turned off. So it kind of debunked that. Okay, throw that out the window. So that is not the case. So we don't have to worry about that. So at about 3 o'clock yesterday, I go, okay, I'm going to turn the low ones back on. But I might as well check my numbers and see if I should just go to another next level, if you will. So not counting that huge day, the 4 days before, I was $80 short per day of making my low end goal. So I'm like, okay, that's definitely not good enough. 2% is not going to cut it. No matter how I sliced it, 2% is not going to cut it. So, like, I'm not even counting the 820 day because that's just too fishy for me. And if eBay can control that one day or one of the 2 days at the first of the month so people can pay their bills, you know that's a huge control factor. And if that can be manipulated like that, you know the rest of the days are being manipulated in other ways. Which, it just doesn't make sense. We're not going to get into it. Okay, so try not to go there because it's just wrong. So at 3 o'clock, I go, okay, I'm $80 short per day for those 4 days. Let's go up another level. So I decided to put my $10 and higher at 5% and my under $10 at 3%. So we got 3 and 5 going right now. So we'll ride that through the weekend and see what happens. So yesterday's numbers are half 2%, 0%, and then switched over to the 5 and 3. Just call it halfway through the day. And that was at $355 I ended at. I kept getting this yesterday too. This is that blank page I always talk about. It says upstream connect error or disconnect reset before header, reset reason, connection termination. That's that white page I say I always get. So now you've actually seen it live-ish. And that comes everywhere on the site for me. There's no one particular place. It's not just Seller Hub or just search. It's literally everywhere on the site. And also, I am running a different internet connection now too. So it's done them on both Charter and AT&T, if that means anything. So that being said, even though I hit 350 yesterday, I think I had a couple of international orders because it's the first of the month and all my items repopulate on the international websites. So it looks like that may have been enough for my low end goal at 350 yesterday, at 0 and at 2. So we're headed in the right direction, at least for the last 3 days. We had the 820, we had the 354, which looks like I'll check it later after it splits the money up better. And then this morning we were at 915 and I'm at $77. One thing I kind of noticed, other than 0%, no matter whether it's 2 or then midday yesterday at 5 and 3, or if it's at 15 or 20, the overnights, you get the same patterns, meaning the same amount of money, basically. Seems like anywhere from $50 to $150, when normally before it used to be at, like $250. So let's see here. And so I'm guessing like they started fixing the problem late last night because, again, I had everything shut off at 6:30 p.m. 6:30 p.m. Nothing. I did not sell anything until 10:30. So off by 2 minutes, but almost literally 4 hours. A difference of 2 minutes. One sold. The next at 12:30. So 6:30, 10:30, 12:30. And then it looks like it cut back on at 1 o'clock. Oh, there's a buyer request. Move to inbox. So at 12:30, then had one in the 12 o'clock hour, one at 7, one in the 2, one in the 3, none in 4, one in 5, one in 6, none in 7. And then I took offers in the 8 o'clock hour. So 6:30 to 12:30, one item technically. So 6 hours, one item. Again, late evening time. So we had that one once, a couple of days ago. A few days ago, actually, I think. What that means, who knows anymore. So I'm just trying to get to where I need to be. And I think the goal for me is like when you do 15 to 20%, I'll have those days where my organics 1 or 2 or 3, at the most maybe 7-ish, 8-ish. Then I'll get those pops 17, 18. Those are the good days. So I'm trying to get that higher organic number, basically trying to get the organic sold and the promoted sold as even as possible. Because it feels like there's a line there. If you don't do enough, you have major organic sales. Like yesterday was 17 organic, and then you have low promoted. and 7 promoted. So trying to find that line where those two line up, that might be the key. The day before, on that $800 day, 27 organic, 16 promoted. Day before, 10 organic, 5 promoted. Day before that, 17 organic, 9 promoted. So trying to find that even number to give me that even quantity. That's probably going to be where we get the best results, because then on the good days, we're going to get a pop of the organic and we're going to get a pop of the promoted. Maybe, theory. So that's the goal I'm shooting for, to try to get those numbers as even as possible, as consistent as possible. I have a secondary goal to see if that goal produces the money goal. I won't look at detail like numbers and more numbers than that. Maybe I'll do again, maybe a Sunday night video where I do a screen share and we'll kind of go over everything. And I'll kind of brainstorm then and see what the weekend held and what have you. So, at this percent. So, we will see. So we'll go to questions and comments, and then I got like 6 items to ship out here, or 7. Boom, boom. All right. That's okay. Let's see. The marketing program terms is really old news. You'll notice the effective date on the policy page is March 30th. Yeah, so they had to update it or something, because they all of a sudden posted it at the top of the page. I don't know. I had never seen it there before. And then people started making videos about it again. I'm like, I can see where this is going. Let me at least try to suppress that a little bit. LOL, love your tax advice. Yep, search results have been a mess for months. I don't know if that is here to stay, but it sure can't help sales. That's the thing too. That's the rumor is that it's AI controlling it, and I forget the actual name of the program or whatever. And it's supposed to be a learning program. But if that's the case, I've actually seen it go backwards several times as opposed to improving. I think it's just overcomplicated. Well, I saw something yesterday, a clip of something about Facebook being attacked for their algorithm on Instagram to do with children. And you start to wonder, algorithms are a control thing. This means eBay is controlling, right? That could essentially open up to legal problems, maybe. I mean, I'm not saying I'm just saying algorithms as a whole. It could, not necessarily saying eBay or even Facebook or Meta or whatever, that would be something to watch. If companies start getting in trouble one way or another for an algorithm. It is a control thing, so. And we know that most businesses don't have the people as their best interest. They have money as their best interest. And anytime you put money and power together, it can and does lead to problems and troubles, and so never know. Anything is possible. I was looking for something and got 1,500 results when there were actually only 4 that matched what I put in. Shoppers may get frustrated and just give up. Yeah, or just never find your item. That's the thing too. Like, just kind of take something oddballish but not oddballish and do searches. And I've had it happen where your item will not come up, or it will come up very deep in the search after many items that are not really related. So that's what kind of hurts sales too, when it pushes what actually customers looking for deeper into the search and gives them all this junk that they're not looking for, and then they never find it, they never buy it, and they go elsewhere. It's been slow all around, highs and lows, but not enough highs. So how are your sales on other platforms? Are they consistent? All I got is Poshmark, and I haven't listed on Poshmark in probably 2 or 3 months. So can't be consistent. And then some days I forget to turn on the share, so I'm not consistent over there at all. We have been sick over here and haven't listed anything in a week. We made consistent sales all week. When we list daily, our sales tanks. That's always been, seems like, not always, but a lot of days, it seems like when I upload items, my sales will shut off. That's when I was doing higher percentages of stuff. So I've always wondered why that appears to happen. But yeah, I'm not the only one that has said that before, and you've said it here too. So yes. Would you vote for Trump again? I'm voting for anybody who's a business person. I will never vote for a politician. Never. It's pointless. All politicians are the same to me. So, and I know that's kind of a narrow way of looking at grouping people together, because I don't like grouping people together. But majority of politicians, it's about power. It's about money and power. They don't do it for the politicians don't do it for the paycheck. If they did, they wouldn't wind up richer than what their paychecks pay them. And they wouldn't show all these power struggles and power-hungry moves. So, yeah, if Trump is on the ticket and he's the only business person, he will be getting my vote, in which it looks like he's going to be. So, like if it was him and Vivek, of course, then I'm going to be looking. I'd be paying more attention to which one I would vote for, type of thing. But it's definitely business. Or if it was a business person, if they decided to boot Biden and some business person, Republican comes, or Democrat comes in, then I would look at both of them vary. It's not about left or right, Democrat or Republican. It's about the person. Like I said yesterday, too many people act like it's about individuality. Just because a person does one thing doesn't mean they're a horrible person. It means they're doing it for a reason. And if you either want to know that reason or you don't want to know that reason, right? So I like the people who want to know the reasons, because that's expansion of the mind. And you know why my reasons are, because I say them. I vote for business people and business people only. That's why I never voted in my entire life until a business person ran. So, because to me it doesn't matter. But somebody to shake up the system and make people mad, I'm always for that. I'm always for shaking the system. Hi, James. First ever for us. Been on eBay since 1998. Full time with over 7,200 items in our store. Yesterday did 0. Not one single sale. First time ever that has happened. We promote, sell similar, adjust prices, redo ads, etc. But did a big fat 0. I am sorry, but yeah, there was definitely clearly site issues going on yesterday. So hopefully that's what it was, and hopefully it'll be better for you today and through the weekend. Why would you need offers? So people can lowball the hell out of you? No, so you can sell your items. It's about moving items. It's not about, I don't care. You make your money when you buy an item. So I don't care what I sell it for as long as I make money on it. So lowball to me is $1 on a $25 item. That is not a commonplace thing. So it seems like you're angry. Offer tells these trolls that, why are they trolls if they want a good deal? But the $25 asking for $1, those are trolls. But that rarely happens. That's not even 1% of the people who send offers. So let's see here. Sell Taylor Swift. I bet Swifties will buy crazy like. Well, if that's the case, how come my Kansas City stuff is not selling? Actually, I don't even know if I got any Kansas City stuff listed right now. I should have. I probably always got Kansas City stuff in my store, being I'm in St. Louis. There's a bunch of different. I'm just looking to see if there's anything worth seeing here. USP rates go up 2 to 4 times a year, and twice a year, beginning of the year and at the end of the year normally. I actually started working for Amazon and still sell on eBay only because eBay last year has failed me. Stocks have been down and income has took a hit. So yes, the competition, but I have faith eBay stocks can turn around. And once that happens, I quit Amazon. I don't know. Once these new, I still think it's not a good, eBay's not on a good long-term run. And so I'm waiting to see the fourth quarter numbers. In all honesty, I feel like the majority of us don't mind you talking about politics. Back in 2016, I was really hoping Trump would win. So when he won, I was excited. What I didn't understand, like for the first time ever for me voting, the kickback that came with it. When you have friends that you knew for 20 plus years stop being your friend. That really didn't make sense to me. That was like a eye-opening. So I was kind of like shocked at first and then kind of relieved. I'm like, well, if somebody's going to unfriend you over something as silly as politics, then they sure as the hell aren't really friends. And so that, like, it confused me, but then I was kind of happy about it because it showed the true colors of so many people. Because it's very hard to get, read on true people. So it's knowing people 20 years and then boom, like what? I will say there's probably, I actually don't even know. There could have been like 10, 12, 15 of them. I have had 3 people a couple of years ago reach out to me and apologize. So that was at least good to see. No big deal. I don't understand what's so big about politics that you think that is what makes a person a person. But when you look at how the media handles things, people are just brainwashed. Like I've always said, the human brain is the easiest thing to manipulate. And I just took it as these people were manipulated into believing one person's decision that has nothing to do with life or death and can dictate it's actually a sight to see the control that is behind the media and watching it. Not just that, but just like almost on a daily basis. I think promoted convert better because organic has more people running comps, more non-customers just doing research. You still get impressions though if you're comping stuff. If I want to click on something, I make sure I don't click on a sponsored link though, a promoted link. I always make sure I click on an organic one. Normally it's in the front of my mind. I'm sure I've done it before, but by not thinking. When you make up new words and then use those new words in unconventional ways, you're bound to get tie twisted. You play too much. I have AT&T fiber. My Wi-Fi was all I use. Usually runs 300 to 150. I did my Wi-Fi test on the AT&T. I did the speed test, and my spectrum was coming up like 94.9. I do the AT&T on my phone, and it shows like 1300 over 1300. I'm like, oh, that's cool. When I run it on the computer, it shows like 94 over, like, what was it, 89 or something like that. I'm like, well, that's not 1,000 gigs. What's going on here? So that didn't make sense. And everything's quicker except uploading a video. I mean, pictures are quicker. It works quicker down here when I have to scroll down farther. So everything's working quicker except uploading a video. Uploading video, it's taken 3 times as long. And I don't understand why that is. That really don't make sense to me. So since I'm still got Charter, paying for Charter right now, I went ahead and plugged the Charter back in and put the wireless port in my office. So then my main phone is now hooked back up to Charter so I can upload the videos faster. So I got to call AT&T and say, what's going on with this? And figure that out before I cancel the Charter. Who knows? Maybe I'll be canceling freaking AT&T. I mean, uploading the videos is a big deal. But Charter was getting so bogged down and so... Charter's been worse than it ever has been for the entire time I had it. In the last, like, about a month. Just lagging and slow. But the pictures, or the video still uploaded fine. So I'm not sure that... I'm not techie enough to know the difference between... What's the difference between a video uploading and everything else? Even pictures uploading were super quick. So I'm not sure. I have this one person who's made like 6 or 7 different accounts. So every time I block them, they come back. They use the same name. So we got a stalker here. So don't even respond to them. And they're not even good at it. They're not even good at trolling. They're just kind of generic. But people who make other accounts just to... Those people are mentally scary, you know. That's all right. We got an officer in the family, so I can just feed all the information to her, and she can do her duty. Am I the only one who just 2% on every listing? LOL. I do the same, and the impressions alone are worth it to me. See, what is the difference between my impressions and other people's impressions at the same percentage, but yet I have more items? It's weird. But like I said, I've always feel like my store, like the older stores, may be on an older, still raggedy ass server. I don't know. So not everything's seen at the same time or something. I don't know. It just seems way spotty. My account seems way spotty compared to some of the other accounts I've seen. So I'm not getting it. I don't get it. I'm not sure. I better enjoy this up 1.6 right now, because in like 2 days it looks like it's going to start dropping, because then I get into my $850 to $900 days to compare right now to in the next 5 days, so, or 6 days. So that number is going to drop drastically once those start moving off the screen. I don't know. I'm just trying to find that wholesome spot that my store will work best in. I figure if I could find that spot, and once everything is working properly again, then it could only give me the best case scenario. I'm hoping. Trying to be optimistic about it, right? Trying to be. We got a United Kingdom overnight, and that's it. Oh, and a Canada, sorry. So 2 international. We got this Russ Colombo radio. Oh, maybe it's not a radio. It has that same look as radio cassettes, but it's not. Sold for $6, headed to Tucson, Arizona. I don't know. Well, I would think at least 3 to 5% should give me better than 310, 257, 407, 295. Hopefully, at least this weekend's numbers will be 3 days will be better than at least 3 of those days. We'll see. In theory, that's how it would work. In cherry. Albuquerque aquarium hat. Sold for $15, headed to Elk Grove, California. Yesterday I couldn't get really motivated. So I started working on my office space. And I think I'm going to finish that up this weekend. I got new stuff I can hang on the ceiling and stuff, but I started cleaning up and rearranged a little bit. But yesterday was like a day I was kind of stuck in thinking mode of, like the night before I had this dream where my dad was in it, and Jan called my dad because he was out and he was on his way home. And she said, "Hey, I need you to pick up some food on the way home. I'll order it on the app, just go by and order it." And I'm like, my dad don't drive. He can't drive. And I'm like, my dad's not going to know how to pick up that food. He don't even know what an app is. I'm saying all this negative, kind of like a reality of the way reality was. And I'm like, he can't drive. He's not going to understand. You just walk in and say your name and be able to pick up the food, all this and that. And so the next thing in the dream, he's home. He's sitting at the kitchen table. He's like, "Your breadsticks are over there." Because usually all I get from Frizoli's is breadsticks, because they went to Frizoli's in the dream. But my dad was like very not my dad. He was very competent, like when it comes to speaking and words, and like total opposite. I mean, I'm not downing my dad's was awesome, especially in the comedy and being a smart ass and stuff like that. But, he couldn't read and he couldn't write he could sign his name, but he couldn't write anything. If you asked him to write a letter, he couldn't, right? Not even a sentence. My dad couldn't write a sentence. And he couldn't read. And all that's because he had polio when he was a kid, so he was in the hospital for 8 years. From the age of 8 to 16, he was in the hospital. Until Shriners paid for his surgery, and then he lied and joined the Marines at the age of 17. But, so he had none of those skills. But in this dream, he had like everything. He was very confident, established type of, when it comes to just, it was odd. It was very odd. So like all day yesterday, I kept just like thinking about what that meant and kind of viewing it and doing my little normal things where I like, when I have new information, I like to dissect it and, okay, what does this mean in the universe and blah, 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 and stuff like that, right? So that's what I did all day yesterday, which made me think of my dad and Vern and my mom and everybody else. So I'm like, today will be a good day just to clean my office and do something different. But that was another thing too. Like I was thinking yesterday too, when the day before I said that anybody who kind of makes a simple comment like, oh, it's your items, I view that as like a kindergartner type of view, a kindergartner trying to do calculus, right? There's more to it. So since that was fresh in my head, I started throwing that application to the dream and to life. Like, okay, there's more to it. And I came from it all different directions. I'm like, okay, the religious direction. People who think there's a God, you die, you go to heaven, and that's all there is to it. I'm like, there's got to be more to it than that. It can't be that plain. Nothing's that plain. There's got to be more to it. And so then I was on my side, I'm looking at it from the other angle, like, okay, because I love the whole, energy and the vastness of the universe. And I'm like, okay. And like, we're probably just, a pimple on a tick's butt on a dog type of that size, and just trying to bring it all into perspective, trying not to bring it into perspective, but try to grasp something bigger than I normally grasp at. That's what I was trying to do yesterday. Find meaning, if you will. You can call it that. But more about just, I guess it is kind of finding meaning, but more of trying to figure it out. I want to be the first guy to figure it out type of thing, right? So, even though that, I don't think humans have the mind capacity to figure it out. Just like an ant doesn't have the capacity to know that we're living right beside him in a big old house with a heater and eBay to sell on. An ant's not going to understand that or be able to comprehend that. So there's probably plenty going on that we are the ants and we can't comprehend. So I got this green news boy cap. Let me make sure I got the right one because I got a name. Tonak. Oh, there it is. Okay, that is it. I couldn't find it. This sold for $6, headed to Delaware, Wilmington, Delaware. So my head was in that space yesterday. Which I need days like that. Kind of a mental break almost for me to think like that. To think about try to come up with different theories and thoughts that nobody else has come up with. That's like a break day for me mentally. Because it's something I enjoy. Hence the stuff on my shirt. Whoops. Oh, I passed up an item. No, James, you're on the wrong one. All right. I'm talking and going to mess it all up. we got these Nike Air Max women's shoes. Sold for $10. Headed to Bridgeport, Connecticut. That's the one thing I've always not wanted to do in life, is not just the whole politics thing, but just society in general. Like, society is man-made. So I didn't want to have to go through life worrying about a job or money or any of that crap. I didn't want to get sucked into that kind of a brainwash feeling, right? Where you're doing things that are man-made for man-made reasons. To have more money, to buy more food, to buy a car, to buy a house. Of course, I know I had to do that somehow. I just didn't want to get trapped where that's the only thing on my mind all the time and just be miserable. I think what selling on eBay has given me is that freedom to have a free mind and be able to stop whenever I want to stop and think whenever I want to think. I don't have to, I got this project that has to be done tomorrow. So, and then your whole day, your whole night, even while you sleep, is just consumed with this one project you have to do in order to earn your paycheck, in order to pay your bills, in order to not be homeless. And, Little Village cassette. Sold for $4, headed to Ohio. So I wanted that freedom to stop and smell the roses, if you will. But also, I can't live there every day because it would be depressing. Not figuring something out's always, for me, as you can tell with eBay, is not always the greatest road to go down and to stay down. That's why I'm trying not to think about anything but the simple stuff on eBay during this project, because it would totally drag me down and wipe me out mentally. So I like having a distraction. Selling on eBay is not only allows me to have the free time to do it, but it's also the distraction I enjoy. So I feel like I'm living the perfect life right now. Sure, everybody could use more money, but I wouldn't want to give up freedom for that more money, right? I guess that's the whole essence of selling out type of thing. How much are you willing to give up in trade for X amount of money or whatever? I'm at a happy spot. I mean, I would give up a little bit more right now if it meant I had more time to jump in my car and just go hiking or whatever. So it's almost like maybe that's where my adventure is on right now, is to get the business on eBay tweaked in a way where I can take more time to go hiking or a little road trip or something in the summertime when the warm weather gets here. But that being said, you know, I think once I get this, I have this thing in my head that once I get this store thing figured out, that'll make everything 10 times better. So I hope I'm not going to let myself down. Next up, we've got this Notre Dame hat headed to the UK. Sold for $10. I thought I heard her get up since she heard the printer. Oh, $9.89. I definitely needed that day yesterday just to kind of turn off one thought process. Because ever since I started this project, it's all that's been on my mind, even though I haven't been trying to deep dive into it yet. It has been there. I just didn't allow it to necessarily bring me down or mad or upset or anything, but more of just a concern or something like, will it ever be figured out? Is it just doomed forever? Not really that dramatic, but next up we got a photo headed to Canada. Just some guy walking. I can't tell that theater name. I didn't do any research on this or anything, but pretty cool picture. Tried to get it without a glare for you, but that sold for $8, headed up to Canada. Used old picture. Is it $7.99? Or maybe I'll put photo. That's a more professional word than picture. Photo. It's a photo. It's a photo. So that's not there. End of day. Oh, I've had four more internationals in the last 24 hours. That's good. Or decent, I should say. All right, so that's looking like it. So yes, I am at 3 and 5 right now. So we'll see how the weekend pans out for me. I just have a bunch of, oh, maybe not, just remembering wrong. I guess I had a bunch of things disappear. All right, thanks everybody for hanging out, and we'll see. I might have a video tomorrow of something. I don't know. We'll see. But I'll definitely do one Sunday and do screen share and kind of see how the weekend played out. So thanks everybody for hanging out. I'll see you all in the next video. Later.